Hey, today we're going to be showing you how to do your own DIY epoxy floor covering. Now, it might seem a little intimidating, but the process is actually really simple. If you can paint your own walls, you can actually do this just about as easily. Now, to start with, let's talk about the product we're using. We are using a Rust-Oleum epoxy floor kit. You can nab it online, you can get it at a lot of the big box home improvement stores. We got it from Lowe's, but just scroll on down in the comment section or the description section of this video, you'll see a little link to exactly what we're talking about. And we used a one-car garage kit size because it's a one-car garage that we're doing right here. Now with this kit, you can actually get it tinted to a variety of different colors, I believe. I think on the box it even shows you the different colors you could get it tinted into, but we didn't do any of that. This is actually the color it is right out of the can. One thing we did do is mix up the flake colors we used. I believe in the kit it comes with a like blue, gray, white, black mix of flake. Personally, I didn't want any blue on the floor. So we bought a secondary product, which they sell. Scrolling down, there's also a link to that too. And it's just a black, white, and gray flake kit. I think it looks a lot better and doesn't have random blue flakes in it. To actually start the installation process, the first thing you gotta do is prep your garage floor. That is gonna be the most important step out of any of the steps in this entire process. Because if it's not prepped right, it's gonna turn out badly, or it's not gonna last very long. Both bad things to happen. Now, what we did for our garage floor is we did first a power washing. We power washed off the entire thing. They get off old paint, old grease, gum, all the junk that is usually stuck to an old garage floor. Now once we get it all power washed off, we squeegee it off really nice and clean, and then we start with something called acid etching. In the kit, you get a little bag of white powder, and it's actually your etching compound. I think it says mix it with 2 gallons of water. You know, read the instructions to see exactly how you do your ratios. However, I didn't follow that. I actually preferred making it a little bit stronger. So I took that packet, mixed it with 1 gallon of water, and used that to spray about a 10 foot by 10 foot area at one time, letting it sit there on the floor. And you can see it actually doing action. It'll kind of bubble up a little bit. It might turn like an opaque color. And then you can take a broom or any kind of hard scrubby brush and give your floor a nice scrub as the acid is kind of etching away, eating away at the grease that's built up on that floor. And once you get it all scrubbed up and as clean as you think you can get it, come back with a hose and wash off the acid. Because you want to make sure you get all of that acid washed off. You don't want to leave that there and then try putting down your epoxy over the top of it. Because, you know, bad things will probably happen. Now that we have a floor that's nicely power washed and etched, you can actually start the application process. Now, we started off with taping off things we didn't want to get paint on. Luckily for us, as you kind of can see here, all the walls seem to be missing the bottom like 4 inches of them. And that's for a side project, which we'll have a video later on about that. So we didn't have to tape up any of the walls. The only thing we needed to tape is the threshold where the garage door closes. Because we didn't want our epoxy floor covering going out beyond where the garage door shuts. Because then when your garage door shuts, from the outside of your house, you're gonna see a little weird gray line, which isn't bad, it's just a look we didn't want. Now, to mix up this product, it comes in 2 cans. You have a big can and a small can. The small can is your activator, and you just gotta pop the tops of both of them, pour that activator into your big can. And get yourself a stir stick, which I believe your kit actually comes with a stir stick, which is handy. Good thinking there, Rust-Oleum. And give it slow stirs. Don't be going crazy. Don't be flinging this stuff all over the place. Just slowly stir it and stir it and stir it and stir it until it gets to a single color consistency. And to apply this to the floor, all you will need is a roller, and preferably a extender handle so you're not bent over too much, and a disposable paintbrush. because you don't want to try to use a nice paintbrush because it's just going to ruin it. Your disposable paintbrush is going to be able to get into all the areas that your roller is not going to be able to get to. Like this step over here, like all the little corners and seams around where the concrete meets up with itself. A roller can't get into that. So that's where you're going to be using that little paintbrush. And the little paintbrush is also good at taking your epoxy and kind of building it up and pushing it into any kind of little cracks or little divots or any kind of, non-smooth area of your garage floor that might need a little bit of extra attention to get the epoxy down into it. Now for the main application process, you might want to find a friend to help you with this. Luckily, I have 2 friends, not bragging here, so I got one of them to come out and help me. And what one will be doing is rolling it out on the floor, and the other one is going to have 2 jobs. One job is going to be with that little paintbrush, and they're going to be in charge of getting to all the little areas that the roller can't get into. And they're also going to be the sprinkler. Yes, the one who throws the little confetti powder all over the place in a nice random pattern that gives it texture and covers up any kind of, unevenness that might be in your garage floor. Now with 2 people, you can roll out about a 6x6 area. And then the next person comes in, the little paintbrush fills in those little gaps and then takes about a heavy pinch, of the flake and throws it onto the floor where you have it all nicely wet with your epoxy. Now, it might sound simple, sprinkling sprinkles on the floor, but some tips for you. Don't throw it directly down on the floor. Throw it up in the air and kind of let it cascade and rain down onto the floor. This will actually take it and spread it out over a wider area and won't give you little blobs of sprinkles all over the floor. But sometimes you will have to throw it right at the floor, mostly just in areas like where the corner where the walls meet up, where when you try to throw it up in the air, it doesn't cascade really very well into the corners. So you might have to do some direct throwing in that area. But in general, toss it in the air, watch it sprinkle down. And keep doing that until you get enough of the texture or pattern you're looking for. You might want just a sparse splattering of little sprinkles, or you might want it to be super heavy. Now, if you buy just 1 bag of let's call them the sprinkles, then you're gonna go for a medium texture. Not too heavy, not too light. And if you wanna go way flaky and get all the flake you can on the floor, then I would recommend buying about 2 or 3 bags per 1-car garage area. That way you have plenty, because what you don't want to happen is to run out in this process, because you're not gonna have time to go to the store, get more sprinkles, come back and sprinkle it down before it's already dry. And as that first person is touching with the brush and sprinkling on the sprinkles, the main roller can go on to the next section and start doing the next 6x6 section. So you kind of start, leapfrogging one to the other until you get the entire garage done. Once you have your entire floor done, there's one last step you gotta do, and that is pull up your tape before everything cures. So make sure you have some gloves on and pull up your masking tape. For us, it was just around the garage door opening area. Toss that away and you're done. Give it 24 hours to dry, and then I would probably give it another 24 hours before I park the car on it. But the next day, it's fine to walk on. And there you have it. Your floor's so nice, epoxy coating on it. They look really sharp, and they'll stand up to all the grime that comes off your car now. Instead of trying to scrub off the oil stain or the salt that builds up and falls off your car during the wintertime, you just take your garden hose, spray off the floor, and it looks brand new again. Now, if you have any questions about this process, or maybe suggestions on how you could do it better or do it differently, then scroll on down, leave a comment, tell us about it. We want to hear your feedback, or maybe give you some advice, or tell you that you should not be trolling us because that's just kind of mean. Either way, we enjoy your feedback. So, like this video, subscribe to our channel, ring the bell. I always forget to say that one. So that way you get notifications when we post these new videos out there. And thank you for tuning in. But for now, that's a wrap. Oh.